Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions Global and JP, let's talk about the news. But first, I wanted to ask, how did you like the raid? It's been interesting hearing people's views on it, especially when their views have been evolving and they've learned how to do the raid well and then maybe ended up enjoying it. I've said before, but I like the raid in general, except when I can't get anyone to join my room. But as for my progress, I got all of the rainbow materials and a +0 Alexandrite ring. And that was all within the first 48 hours, and that was all just from joining high-level rooms. I mostly joined 81 through 90 level rooms with my yerba, and that worked well. After that, I was slowly building my own boss level, and I actually soloed it to level 50. The last 10 levels or whatever, I had to do 2 tries. But it was possible, and that makes me feel a lot better looking ahead at the Final Fantasy I raid. I'm not going to have any light slash attackers, I don't think, but maybe my other characters will be strong enough that I can just kind of brute force my way through it. But I got the 5,000 coins here. I'm probably just going to spend the rest of it on these daily energy restores. These are very useful for a free-to-play user. Next, let's talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is Orlando. On Reddit recently, I had the gall to point out that he wasn't the go anywhere, do anything unit that so many people thought he was, and that those many people had a rude awakening with this raid. This was the truth, as I observed it on Reddit, just looking at a lot of people's posts, and same exact thing happened in JP. And yet, I still got pushback from Orlando fans. They're very sensitive, apparently. You can't say anything about Orlando. But when you play with the most hyped unit in the game, you better be prepared to take a little flack for doing so. People get on my back for loving Stern, and I defend him. And so we all have our cross to bear, but Orlando's cross is a little bit bigger. And just for the record, I have nothing against Orlando the unit. It's just his fans. It's like with Ayn Rand and her fans. Okay, but anyway, let's look at the news for Global. There might be more that will appear before the update tomorrow, but there's plenty enough to talk about, so we'll just talk about it here. First, Victora and Salia. I talked about them in an overview video lately, so you can have a look at that. Here, this Victora hard quest. This is a new thing in Global. She'll get the regular hard quests that you can play like on that map-looking screen, but also in the far plane there will be an additional hard quest for Victora. So if you do pull her early, don't forget to do this. You can get up to 50 shards, I think, so yeah. But next I wanted to talk about Salia's name pronunciation. The translators really screwed over Global players with this baffling spelling, and nobody knows how to pronounce this thing, least of all Americans. My guess when I first saw that was that people would say it like Salire or Salire. I think Howell pronounces it Say-Liar. And for me personally, I don't care how you pronounce it. You can pronounce it how you see it, pronounce it how you like. I said this before my translation video, but native English speakers are really bad at vowel sounds, and this spelling does not help us in any way. It's baffling that they would take the original Japanese pronunciation, which is very easy, Salia or Salia, depending on what you like. It would have been no problem at all to leave it like that, but instead they give us this unpronounceable thing. I wonder if this is like a case of like amateur fantasy writers. They try to make things like weird and difficult in order to make it sound more fantastical. But you look at the king of fantasy, Tolkien. He was a linguist. He understood language, and he studied a bunch of different languages. And then if you look at his made-up languages, like Elvish and stuff in the books, all of his vowels, they have a system, and it's pretty similar to Spanish or Japanese even, where you see the vowels, and for the most part, they all have the same pronunciation. Sometimes you see the little tick marks over vowels, but that just lengthens or shortens the vowel sound. So, for example, I can just look at the map here and I can pronounce all of these place names. Ker Andros, Osgiliath, Emin Mule, Rohan, Calenhad, Ithilien, Emin Arnen. And the reason why I can pronounce all of these so easily is because I understand the system that Tolkien used with his vowels. The translators of this game that changed Salia to whatever this is, they don't have any system with their vowels, and so they're not helping us with the pronunciation, which is why I'm okay with any pronunciation for this. If you want to get around the issue completely, just use the Japanese pronunciation, Salia. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, but next we have a new guild battle map. This is exciting. There's no conditions here. Future guild battle maps will have like, dark attack up, or pierce attack down, or stuff like this, but this has no conditions, so you can use anybody without any detriment. The big characteristics of this map, there are holes in the middle, and then the map overall is generally pretty flat. These holes, no one can walk over them, so you have to either walk around them, or you have to attack over them. So ranged units will get an advantage here, and then maybe units also with high movement. Units with lower movement, like Orlandu, may be at a disadvantage. So he's not the best here, oh no. But he has ranged attacks, so he could be usable here. The flatness is great for dragoons, like Victora, because of their super long-range horizon jump. And it can be good for gunners and double gunners who don't have really great elevation range. But you want to be careful about not shooting your teammates. For my team, I'll probably stick to my ninjas, Shadowlings and Kiton. They have nice movement, and then also the long-range Shuriken. But I'll probably take out Yedema, because although she has 4 movement, that's not going to be as good as my ninjas. And then her ranged attacks are like medium to short. If I could level my Lucia up soon enough, that might be an option. But I think I'm going to go for Jiza and maybe try stealing some hearts. I finished raising her faith, so that might be fun. And then evade for all of my guys all around. And mages are also an option. Their spells have pretty good range. Although they might be easy pickings for gunners. And then I don't know how good tanks in here would be, because they're generally pretty slow as well. And then I don't know how well they could cover your guys if they're getting real spread out. Okay, and then finally, I think it was down here. Yeah, we have these quests for the Platinum Rod and the Ice Lance. These are both excellent weapons, and I think everybody would want them. Platinum Rod is excellent because so many types of units can use it and then get the high magic. I made 2+2s in my JP account and have been pretty happy with them. Some people might say that this rod obsoletes Yashutara's Trustmaster, because it can get a higher magic. But I don't think so. The ability to equip a weapon to the Trustmaster slot to free up your other slots for other stuff can be useful in some cases. And then the Ice Lance is the best spear in the game, regardless if they can take advantage of the ice element or not, so maybe everybody wants to get this one as well. Okay, let's change over to JP. Okay, here we are in JP. Let's look at the news. First, we got new units, and we finally got a male UR unit, so this is very cool. But his name is Skaru. He's kind of the love interest of Loreda, who's on my main screen. But he is Lightning Element, main job Black Mage, and then sub-jobs will be the Battle Mage and Time Mage. So he's just an out-and-out magic user. He sounds amazing, but I'm going to skip him. I'm sure I will regret it. But I have many other units that I'm working on, and then he's not Wind or Dark Element Black Mage like I wanted. Battle Mage will give him Energy Buster, which is area of effect and also 100% hit. That is Kirufe's best skill, which I've gotten a lot of use out of. And with the element advantage, he can take down Miranda and Irudira, those water characters, both of whom are still popular in PvP, and then of course evade units. And then Time Mage can give him haste and quick. Might be tricky to work his positioning since Black Mage wants to stay back, Battle Mage wants to get close, but hopefully he has some nice defense for getting close. And then his Limit Break is cool because it's a 3-hit lightning magic attack, so he's kind of built for chaining. Okay, next is Mariaru, and the instant I saw her in the story, I knew that I loved her. She looks very amazing. A veil, short hair, and a purple catsuit. I really admire women that have an unusual yet put-together style. It's not necessarily a guarantee that they are intelligent and imaginative and independent, but the chances go up. And I emphasize put together. Anyone can do an unusual style, just, put on random stuff. But to do it well so that it looks expensive and in overall harmony with itself, that's tough. That takes some education and good sense. But looking at her appearance in the story, I was sure she was going to be a ninja. But she is a light element spellblade with subjobs calculator and thief. That's a very, very interesting combination. But I think it's going to come down to her stats. If they're good enough, I'm going to want to use her. If not, then no. But if she had high or very high magic value, then her spellblade attacks and then her instant cast calculator spells could be very damaging. If her spirit or resistances were high, she could be a really good magic tank. And then if her evade were high, she could be a magic and evade tank together. That's really interesting. And then depending on which thief skills she has, the most important being Mug, Steal Time, and Steal Heart, that could enable her to go gil farming, or raids, or PvP tower, respectively. And then her master ability is very interesting. It gives her hate +5, which is insane. That's the same hate value that you get from the Vow of Love card. So she does really want to tank, and then that frees you up to use another vision card instead. And with a calculator, she could heal too, if she gets that skill. But yeah, she sounds really good, and she looks amazing, so maybe I will buy her shards. I don't think I'll pull for her. But also being a light element, she can chain wall the holy users and banish users as well. Okay, and then JP is getting a new arena map. And the special characteristic here is that everyone gets slash resistance up, sad or Landu. But that leaves a lot of flexibility for team making. You can go magic, or projectile, or pierce. There's still not really a strike meta at all. Pierce might be popular because of the recent release of Gorasira, and the recent focus on Victora and Stern in the current raid and guild battle. Magic also might be popular because of the brand new Skaru and Mariaru. They will be bonus units for sure. I might make a projectile team because I haven't done that in a while, so I'll use Lucia and Federica. Maybe a lot of people would be interested to see a high-level Lucia in action. And then I'll use Sasayaki as my tank. Maybe I'll build her for both magic and pierce. There is no pierce-resistant armor still, so that frees me up to use magic-resistant armor. And then I can get the pierce resistance from like Espers and vision cards, maybe. I'll have to check and see if there's an Esper that has both magic and pierce resist. And then maybe I'll do some evade on there as well. And with Federica, I'm also raising her faith, because I want to test her status effect capabilities. So I'll give her maybe the Gunner subjob. I wish I had Nairyu's Trustmaster to do Dark. He's close to max. Okay, and then finally, there is a new type of content. That is a class match. From what they said on the live stream last night, this is a PvP event. It takes place during a certain time of day. You can do up to 5 battles a day. And then it is possible to do either auto or manual mode. I've been avoiding the match battles like the plague so far, but this format kind of interests me, so I'll give it a try at first. But 5 battles, if it goes long, that could be a full hour of your day just doing these manual fights, so I don't know how far I'll go with this. Maybe it'll depend on the rewards. And then one last interesting wrinkle about this first class battle is that the total cost that you'll be limited to on your team is 540, we can see there. That will include units and Espers and vision cards, so using like Gilgamesh, who cost 100, that'll be more difficult to do. So you might want to use maybe lower rarity units or cards, or maybe like Victora, who costs 70 or something. But yeah, maybe in the future I will do a video where I put a team together and then do a couple fights in there. Okay, but that is a look at the news. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Alright, thanks for watching and we'll see you again. Take care.